Here is the Evergreen webinar funnel. There are the funnel steps. You have the registration page. Let's show what that looks like. So you have live online webinar. The title and the date and time are built with custom values, and so are some other pieces of the page. And what that means is, as you can see, there's the custom values here that are inserted. Webinar name, webinar date and start time. This way, it's really easy when we want to do another webinar with a different topic. We can simply change the custom values and run that webinar with the same assets. One of the assets is a live chat widget. So we add the live chat widget to the broadcast page, because most of the time when you do a webinar, people have to log in somewhere unless you're paying for software, a lot of extra money for software that broadcasts cleanly. Okay, so, but if you're like me and you want to use tools you already have because you can't spend every dollar you make on technology, or you just don't want to, I totally get it. You can go technology broke, right? So the way I set it up is so that I can go on YouTube. Actually, I go on Zoom. Correction. I go on Zoom, and then I live stream from Zoom to YouTube. Then I take the YouTube streaming link and I embed it onto my broadcast page. So one of the steps of this funnel, as you can see, is the broadcast page, right? So that's what I'll send to everybody so that they don't have to overcome the obstacle of logging into Zoom or downloading a Zoom app or any of that mess. It's just you click the link, there I am talking, right? So on that page is the live chat widget. So now people can click the button to chat by text message or email, or they can chat live. So when they do that, I go over to my conversation inbox and I can chat with them back live without saying anything to them on the webinar. And they're not interrupting other people. Nobody's waiting their turn. And all of this is just in one inbox in my Comtrack Pro system. So that way it's nice and clean. There's no interruptions. Now, when you do broadcasts like this to YouTube, there is a delay. So it's 15, 20-second delay, which can be good or bad. Just realize the chats are going to come through and you're going to be able to respond faster in the texting chat box than you can verbally. But that's okay. It's a nice reminder to me to just take my time. Like right now, I'm even talking too fast. Take my time, present nicely, leave some space for digestion. With that in mind, moment of silence. Okay, now that you've digested that, other assets. So we have the registration form with the appropriate consent boxes. We have custom value list. So this is the list that we would simply go in and update each of these values. Now for me, it's simple because my name doesn't change, right? My phone number doesn't change. All the webinar links don't change. So the registration, replay, broadcast, all of that, we just plop in these custom values that change. Even the webinar benefits block, right? So I got code in there that makes the layout correct so that when we take that custom value and put it into an email, right? Like a confirmation email or an invitation email, that little block can just be pasted into the custom value. Then anywhere I've used that benefits block, it'll automatically show up. So it's really, really handy. Same thing with booking requests. And you can see here I plugged in all of, my particular info, but these items in highlighted pink or orange, whatever that is, those are the items that we just want to make sure are accurate. So basically, here's how it works. I have a webinar coming up on Friday. First thing I do, or that I want to hold on Friday, let's say. First thing I do is go into Zoom and schedule that meeting, that Zoom meeting. Okay, cool. Then I know that the start date and time. So I would go in and update the custom value here. I would update the title here and the host name, the email headline. Okay. Here is the date and time in not computer talk. We use this format for computer speak so that when we run automations, the automations can refer to that computer formatted date and start time, right? So for example, if you want something to wait until 24 hours before the event, you basically go in and set this value, and then every other step can refer to that value. All right, so now I would just go in the system and update all the custom values like you see in the image there. Now I didn't paste every single workflow here. There's a bunch of them. I just kind of started doing this, but you have, right, the invitation. So this is where you would begin. You go into your list of contacts. We highlight everybody. We check their box and then say, add them to the workflow. Pardon me. And they will be in this workflow, which actually I altered this a little bit. So once they're in the invitation workflow, that will send them an email and a text message. It'll wait a day and then check to see if they're registered. If they aren't registered, because they don't have the tag that says they're registered, then we'll send them another invitation by email and by text. After that, I'm not going to bug people, right? They got 2 notices, they're just not interested. Okay, or they're too busy. Dynamic webinar confirmation and reminder system. So this is where we would basically update the dates, the start dates and times, and then all these other steps would work off of that. And I've actually updated this workflow, is the one I meant to say I updated. So these pictures aren't completely accurate. There was something wrong with it. I just fixed it as I caught it. So now it works perfectly. And as a matter of fact, I can show you. Here is the people. I'm actually using it right now. So here's the corrected version. So I'm using this for my webinar on Friday because I like to test everything before I put it out there. And good thing I did, because I caught, what I needed to change. And that was this update contact field and this date and start time, because you have to use the right kind of custom field. You can't use a date picker when you make this custom field. So those of you that have high level and you understand what I'm saying, you have to use a text field to make this the contact field that you're going to update. And then you can use the custom value for the webinar start time in computer speak, right? So that's what this step does. It says, hey, person just signed up. So they submit the form. I have the thing notify me because I like to know what's going on. And then we add the registered tag. We remove them from the invitation workflow because that doesn't make sense anymore. Now we update their field that says, when's the webinar start? Okay. And then we set that field to that start date and time. We send them the email and a text confirmation. Then they wait until 24 hours before. And so now you have the 24-hour reminder email, and then 1 hour and 10-minute reminders as well. So each of those steps has different emails and text messages, and there's a template created for all of them, whether it's an email or a SMS. Here are all the templates that go with those messages. And to be thorough, this is the page that the person would go to after registering. So you saw that page where they register, right? That's here. And then once they put their information in, now they're added to the workflows that confirm the, appointment, remind them, etc. And then they click here, and that will take them to the broadcast page. Now, right now, there's nothing in there because I don't have a live stream link. That's really the last piece, is you have to actually go live on YouTube the day of, right? And then take that link and go back into HighLevel and plop it on this page and hit save. It's really easy, but that's a great way to broadcast this here instead of, now it is broadcasting on YouTube, but it's unlisted so that people can't just stumble upon it. And this way it's kind of gated in case you're talking about any information you didn't want to have public. So people would be able to come here and literally click the chat box, start chatting with me right here. Okay. And so now I already did this before. That's why you see some messaging in there. But start a new chat. Okay. Hello. Thanks for your message. I'll respond during the webinar as soon as I can. Right. And if they hadn't put their information in, I just put some test information in there. But if they hadn't, then the first thing we do is prompt them to put in their information. So now you're capturing the information into your system as well. So they registered. Now you're having a chat with them. All of it is going on their profile. Now, the last page will be shown if people can't attend or miss the actual live webinar. So this way I can have it at 11 a.m. during the day. And when everybody gets home from work or tomorrow, if they're that excited to watch me, they can watch the replay. So there's a step there too. I'm going to have to, after the YouTube or after the session ends, I'm going to take that link and put it into the custom value that says watch the replay. Actually, yeah, I have to put it into the right spot so that the messages all go out with the replay in there. Actually, no, I stand corrected. Too many things running together. My bad. It's the same process. You just go to this page in the website builder and plop in the link to this video that's now black, right? So we're just going to plop in that YouTube link one more time to this page, and we're good to go. Sorry about that last ramble. I mixed up my ideas. But anyway, so it's a pretty killer webinar system. Another thing that I built with it is replay watchers custom audience. So on Facebook ad market or Facebook ads, I set it up so that when people watch 75% of the replay or more, then they are put onto a custom audience in Facebook in case I wanted to retarget those folks later on. But otherwise, you have your confirmation reminders, webinar attended follow-up, right? If you want to thank them and offer them to get an appointment. Or maybe you have a downloadable checklist or something that you promised you would give. These are the no-show replay folks. And then the replay follow-up. So after they watch the replay, then you follow up from that as well. And I think that's about it. So if you are already using HighLevel, then and you want a webinar system that you can just plug in and use, great. Plug in your agency. I'll share a snapshot out. We'll have to exchange some kind of value for the time and effort. Or you can just get a sub account in my agency, help me spread out the costs of just having the agency, because I'm, it just helps me. Every dollar helps. But yeah, if you want to do something like that where I set you up in your own sub account, hey, keep your HighLevel where it's at. Use that one and use this for this purpose. I mean, we could do it that way as well. You chip in some money, we'll work out a deal somehow so it makes sense and everybody's happy. Because frankly, there's a little babysitting with this that's involved too, right? If something goes sideways or HighLevel changes their technology, you got to make some updates. So if you're that kind of person who wants to do it yourself, great, take it and run. It'll just be, here's the snapshot link and off you go. And again, I haven't priced this. I'm just using this for myself. So throw me out what it's worth to you, right? To save all that time and, we'll figure it out that way. Make me an offer, but, I'll be reasonable with you. Or we hop in my sub account, agency and, get you a sub account and you do it that way. Either way, I just want to see you being able to do a webinar, because that's why I did all this in the first place, right? I didn't want to spend money on every time I had a topic to talk about. I didn't feel like spending more money, right? And paying someone else to set it up and waiting for them to set it up and, compliance this, and oh, that one's off today. Look, I get it. The world's happening. I just want to be able to do it at will. So now I have that system to be able to do it. And if you're like that too, then, you know, just let me know, message me, and we'll have a conversation, see what we can do.